Hi, thank you for joining me this Friday the 13th, 2022. So I'm talking today about how we physically can be absorbing energy and how it can physically affect our bodies. Sometimes this is referred to as being anxious. You get that anxious feeling. And for a very, very long time in the past, I used to always wonder why, when I was around certain people, I would start feeling like my nervous system reacted to the energy, and quite often it would make me need to use the toilet a lot more. I had this kind of nervousness feeling, but then I could be around other people and not have it at all. And it could come on to a point where if I was sitting with, let's say I was sitting with two people and I was really, really comfortable and I felt really, really good and I didn't have any physical problems in my body, a third person could come in and sit there and all of a sudden my body reacts to them. It's like my body is giving me this message of, sometimes it felt like you've got to do something with their energy or their energy is taking your energy. And before I sort of learnt about protecting my own energy and learning how to allow the energy to go through my body rather than absorbing it, it actually created nightmares for me in my own body. There's irritable bowel syndrome, and I know so many psychics that are really, really connected with energy that suffer with really bad digestive systems. And I just feel like it's all connected to the nerves, to the vagus nerve, to the mind, to the intuition, and that whole system that goes down through. That energy that we're feeling so intensely of other people, it's actually affecting our own bodies. And see, it didn't matter what diets doctors put me on or whatever medical things they tried to do, nothing fixed it until the only thing I fixed it myself by learning to not absorb the energy of other people. So when I'm around somebody now that I can still feel the feeling, it triggers me, the feeling will trigger my body to react. But then I start telling myself, I talk to my body. I have this internal conversation with my body. And I will say, it's okay, it's just energy, it's just their energy. You don't need it. So I'm either going to put like a force field in front of me so their energy is going to bounce, or I will allow their energy to come in, but I kind of feel like it's going through me, like I'm a filter, rather than thinking I have to take their energy and heal it in some way, because that became too overwhelming. You'll know, like if you're somebody who feels the pain of other people, so like I've described before, when my grandmother died and I had her heart pain at the same time, and I was bleeding physically when my grandfather died and he had prostate cancer. So I physically, my body does something when someone close to me is dying or in pain, or like I've quite often sat there and all of a sudden I have this really, really bad pain in my lower back, and I never get back pain. And I'd have this really severe pain in my lower back, and it'll just sit there, and I just can't get comfortable. And then I can't even figure out who it is. Like I'll sit there and like, is it this my pain or is this somebody else's? And I can distinguish it's someone else's, but I don't know whose. And then later in the day, my dad will ring up and I'll say, how have you been? And he said, oh, I've got a shocking lower back pain. The minute he tells me that he's got back pain, it leaves my body. So I've just been sitting there holding it without knowing how to get rid of it. And then it's when he rings me up and tells me that he's the one with the problem, it goes. And that happens with anything. I could have a shoulder pain and then one of my sons rings up and says they have shoulder pain. So I think it's because we are so sensitive to energy that we're constantly absorbing it. I don't know how, when it's a case of I'm feeling some pain and I can't get rid of it, but I know it belongs to someone else, I tend to just sit and wait now until they contact me. When they contact me, I know it's just going to go away. When I'm sitting with somebody whose energy is causing me to feel pain in my body, or it's usually my digestive system. When it's somebody who's sort of sucking the energy out of me, it's usually my digestive system that starts playing up. And I can just sit there and have that internal dialogue with myself and say, it's okay, just let the energy go through. Just let it pass through and out again. Don't hang on to it, because the more I hang on to it, the worse it gets for me. It becomes like it's cramping pain. So I know if you're going through something very similar, if you're very, very sensitive, or maybe you just hadn't really put two and two together with some health conditions that you have where you can be perfectly fine if you're home on your own, in your own little environment, and you feel absolutely fine, and then all of a sudden someone rings up and says, come and meet me for a coffee, or someone calls in, and while they're there with you, you suddenly start feeling unwell. You might start feeling dizzy, or you just feel not well, or your stomach starts gurgling, or you feel like you need to use the toilet. Start noticing if it's happening with a particular person that you're always around. Is it like this one person that seems to trigger this within you? Are you fine when you're on your own, and then when someone else comes in, that's when it happens? Because, I mean, if you went and had a medical assessment, they would tell you it's anxiety. If you're perfectly comfortable and then someone came into your space, they would come up with the reason that you're having an anxiety attack. But it's not with everybody. It's only with certain people. So I just, doing my own analysis over the years and looking at certain people that have been in my life, and ones that have triggered me to feel this way and other ones that don't. And then looking at their energy, I found that people that are very scattered, very hyperactive, very egotistical, very domineering, that kind of energy clashes with my energy. And so when it clashes, my body feels it physically, my body feels it. But when I'm around somebody who's very calm, who's very loving, who's very wise, I don't have any problems at all. My body just kind of blends in with their energy, and it's a lovely feeling, and I walk away feeling great. It's the same, it's kind of like the same as, when you're around somebody and you've sat with them for a while, and then you leave and you just feel on top of the world. Like you go to their house, and then when you leave, you're like, I just love going to their house. It's just, I just feel so good when I'm there. I feel comforted when I'm there. I feel the love. I just feel like all my problems get solved when I leave that house. And yet you can go into someone else's house, and when you leave there, you feel like you've got more problems than when you went in there. And it's just this scatteredness of this energy. So when you notice that, that's you feeling the energy of other people, because we're always doing it. We're constantly connecting with energy. That's what we do. We just don't take enough time to notice it. So if you're in that situation, what I have found that's helped me is to, first of all, acknowledge it, acknowledging it as it's not a problem that I'm having. Because I used to think, oh my God, it's me. Something's wrong with me. The more I thought about it, something was wrong with me, the more it sort of escalated the problem. When I started to realize it was just me connecting with energy and allowing it to go through my body, it just eased it. And so many little niggly health conditions just went away, because I was acknowledging that it's not it's not for me to hang on to. I'm just feeling the energy. Just let it go through me. I quite often visualize, it's like thinking of a ball of light, and I put it through the crown chakra and imagine it going straight through my body, out through my legs, through my feet, and then in a circle, through the middle of the earth, and then back again. And then I just visualize it sort of like it's just going in this constant circle, and it's getting filtered as it's going through. And that has helped so much because I don't get that anxious feeling anymore. So, hey, let me know if you are someone who knows what I'm talking about. You might get those same kind of feelings around certain people where you just feel so comfortable with some people, and with other people it's like, I can't wait. I've been in situations where I can't wait to get away from the energy. It's actually sickening energy, and I don't know why, because they're nice people. They're actually really, really nice people, but I just can't stomach their energy. It's just, I don't know what that is. When it's like that, it's I just want to run away. I just got to get away from it. I've got to make excuses that I can't see them. It actually feels toxic. The energy feels toxic, and I feel like I'm going to get so sick if I stay in that environment. Yet it's really hard to say to somebody, look, I can't be around you because your energy is toxic, if they're actually quite a nice person, because they don't understand how energy actually works. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you have that same experience, and maybe you have some ways that you help yourself to not be affected by someone else's energy, and if you've come up with ways to protect yourself, yeah, please let us know in the comments, and have a lovely Friday the 13th.